Hello, dear people. Finally, after many hours of editing and cutting and adding, etc., the sharing about the Yosoy event 11/11 in Argentina in Capilla del Monte is almost ready to go public. I haven't decided yet if in one or in two parts, but if there will be a second part, I will release it a few days after the first one. So if you like to be notified about it and some other stuff that I will be releasing in the near future for Argentina and other things too, and you haven't done it yet, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. And before we dive right into it, I'd like to point out that not only this video is available in English now, but my sharing of the Yosoy event in February 22 in Egypt also. I spent 2 full days in editing the subtitles and the English translations too of those 2-part videos. They are spoken in German, and now it's a whole different experience to watch them. You find them in my playlist on this channel, Egypt, Argentina, or the direct links in the text below this video. So enjoy it. And without further ado, let's go to the recording about the event in Argentina. I invite you to tell me in the commentaries what excited you most, what moved you the most, or what you found most interesting, because I'm curious about it and it also helps with integrating. And now, have fun. So, Lisa, so cool. And I'm so happy you are here. I'm so happy you just had the same idea as I had, like, let's share, for Christ's sake, let's share our experience just to spread it, because that is the whole idea of the whole Yosoy path and the whole consciousness path. It is to share our experience and to implement those information, not even in us, but also in those who we are speaking to. So is this the whole thing is spreading, right? So I wanted to start a video, and I just couldn't do it because there was nobody there. I was talking to a camera, and it was so awful. And on one point, I just gave it up, and I was like, there has to be another way, And then I was like, why don't I invite people who wants to listen and actually to share too? Because I'd like to hear some nice stories too. I know my own stories. So if everybody is like getting the impulse to share while I'm sharing, please give a sign. And I will be happy to, to welcome you at the stage. Please just be aware, you will be on the big screen, because, if you're sharing, I want to have the whole experience of you, and everybody wants to have it, but be aware, you will be on YouTube on my channel. So if I can do this, I'm not a Leo like Matias, and being in front of a camera and having a YouTube channel for me is something like, I probably will never get used to that. So don't be shy, just share, and just share from your heart, and then the message is coming through. And this is the best thing to do, something like that. And actually the best thing to go through the word, right? All right. So I can just have a very short introduction into the topic, because just to have all of us on the same page. So actually, why did we actually go to Argentina? And I mean, Matias is speaking of this in this preparation video you probably saw in October, I think, why actually Argentina. And this is all about Argentina being a mirror for Egypt, and geographically, So the Paraná River, the delta of the Paraná River is actually the mirror of the Nile. The delta of the Nile is going up north. The delta of the Paraná River is going to the south. And then the three pyramids of Giza are actually mirrored by three mountains surrounding Capilla del Monte, who have a triangular shape. And just to mention a few of the mirroring symbols, there are more. And it was about bringing Egypt to Argentina, because Argentina is going to be what Egypt was once for the ancient world, right? And he was talking about that, like Matias was talking about that in the on the first day when we went to Capilla del Monte, to the park Pueblo Encanto. We went there, the fire group and the water group, and he had an opening. You might have seen that on my YouTube channel. So he was talking about that Argentina now is the new Mesopotamia, you know, and where people, like the ancient people in Egypt, spread it through the Nile, spread the information to other islands and to the sea and to the people, and they navigated with ships and boats. And Argentina is going to be the new Egypt, saying that the navigation now is not made by boat, and you don't need a captain. The navigation is made just through the internet. This is our new navigation instrument. And so the guides or the messengers don't have to go from one to the other by ship. They just do it through the internet and online, which was kind of cool to hear from him. And actually the place where Argentina is placed is the latitude 33 south, and Egypt is the latitude 33 north. So this is why, you know, it's the exact mirror geographically of that. And this is obviously why Matias is born in Argentina, because everything is starting new from this place. And does anybody know why it is Capilla del Monte? I mean, I just explained it because of this, the Paraná and the three mountains, but also because Capilla del Monte is quite a spiritual capital of South America, where people and beings from other dimensions meet to exchange information, and for people especially to receive information and messages of what to do, when to do it, so like for certain things. And I will probably talk more about this underground civilization that is called ERKS, E-R-K-S. It is said to be an underground city of another dimension of mostly five-dimensional beings, with temples and actually a hall of mirrors too. So having the hall of mirrors, the dome, up on the ground, on the earth in this Pueblo Encanto, and having a hall of mirrors underground in another dimension, you know, you don't need to, you just have to imagine it like, not literally, but like in another dimension. So it is actually the equivalent to the Cheops pyramid in Egypt, where you have the big pyramid, you know, and underground you have this other pyramid, you remember? So I was quite amazed of all that, you know, and this is why the dome was built exactly at that place. And the the whole place of the Pueblo Encanto is a very sacred place since 8,000 years, and it's used by the natives for, you know, the thousands of years to connect heaven to earth. And it's actually the first time the spirits of that place were allowing such a great mass of persons to work there. So we were actually reminded every day to always ask for permission and be grateful, and really be careful about where we set our foot on, and be really responsible before we entered any place there. So back in 2011, the foundation had a big gathering in 2011, and it was kind of meant for 400, 500 people, and 6,000 came. And it was such a powerful gathering that from there, everything else spread. So the gathering in 2022 was the third of this kind. They had another one in 2018. But the whole path was actually laid out from that gathering with the 6,000 people in 2011 in Capilla del Monte. This is like, it's a crazy place where people are just, you know, really attracted. And 1111, why 1111? Because 1 means recognize yourself, recognizing yourself, watching yourself. And 1111 is 2 times, like 4 times 1, and 22 is 2 times 11. So it's 1111 in another level. It's the level 2, which means manifesting that, recognizing, doing it, working it. And this is actually the new cycle we begin. Like Aquarius, it's like Matias explained, it's not about sitting spiritually and meditating the whole time. It's now coming a new age of technology. And he explained it a lot, that our task is to deliver information so that people can get conscious about what they are doing and why they are doing it. Because we can't stop the technology, but we can make sure that people are conscious about what they're doing, because then, technology will be just a perfect thing, like maybe you can beam with that or whatever, but you have to have the right mind for it. Otherwise, you can do bad things with that. So to really raise the consciousness of people, this will be a task of the next hundreds and thousands of years. We will not see the fruits of it. We are here to make sure that the seeds we planted are nourished and are growing, and maybe in 2,000 years we are back and see what we have, if we can harvest it. So, question: does anyone know the definition of the logo? It's the you mean the Yosoi? You mean this one? This thing? Yeah, it's meaning Yosoi. It's Yosoi back and forth, and it's put together in one layout. This is it's the words Yosoi in it, back and forth. So this is the thing from one Y, and this is the thing from the other Y, like just mirroring each other. So this is, did you mean this one? Cool. You're welcome. Yes, there is a palindrome. Yes, this is a better explanation here. It's a palindrome in Spanish, the same as somos, the same as seres. It means that both in space and time, inside, outside, up, down, right, left, all aspects are the being is legible. It is the same. It is one. The logo says, I am representing
the Vesica Pisces, the yin yang, the circle and the sphere, as well as the movement in the spiral. Wow! Thank you, Lisa. You are a jewel. Thank you for being here. Cool. All right. So this is just shortly on why. And now just a few words to the preparation, because if you haven't been in fire, you might have missed how it all started. So first, you were like put into a group. So because there are 45 groups, as you probably know, and the groups are represented by one letter. Like there are 45 letters in the Atlantean alphabet. And so there were those groups, and from those 45 groups, three would put together. And so there were 15 groups containing each 3 smaller groups. And one of this group was representing the physical aspect, one was representing an emotional or soul aspect, and the other one was representing a spiritual or a mental aspect of the same nodes of nodes of the earth. So we were put into these groups, and then in October 25, the water group, like 144 people, they started their journey through Argentina, South America, to gather information they further on were to deliver to the fire group, so the fire group could actually ignite those information in the dome, in the Hall of Mirrors. So it's the same we did in Egypt in the pyramid. So as you know, water is the one element that can save and carry information endlessly, like forever. So this is the archive. Every water drop is the archive of the whole history of Earth. So with the information the group gave to the Earth and to the water and actually extracted from the water, this information was given to us later. And on their journey, the water group had an incredible and most intense experience of its own. They really aligned with the elements. And so what they did showed immediate effects like heavy rain, fires, earthquakes, storms, and hail in specific parts of the world. It made totally sense, you know, and the earth and the elements just releasing pressure and harmonizing. So it was really incredible just, you know, seeing what they did in the Instagram account of Matias or whoever from our group who was in the water group to just shared it with us in WhatsApp. So it was actually really exciting to be aligned with this, even, you know, when it didn't start for us in the fire group. For the fire group, it started on the 7th. So we had kind of, we had a quarantine. Quarantine means 40, you know, 40. So we had a preparation as in Egypt for 40 days. And what we did was, like, basically we had 10 days of expression, which is related to water. We had the other 10 days of experimentation, which is related to earth. Then next 10 days, we had the topic of integration, which is fire. And the last 10 days were about transcendence, which is air. So each week we would just go over the chakras from head to feet, ending each week in the toroid. And on the day of the toroid, on the 10th day, we would meet on Zoom and do a meditation together. So I think that was what was the same in the whole fire group, but the individual groups did have individual tasks for every day. Like the meditation would be very special for every group. And what was really interesting, because we didn't have that in Egypt, was every one of us had to bring a very small stone from where we lived, from the place where we lived, like the area where we were situated in, like maybe 1 centimeter, really, really little, you know. And we were supposed to have that with us with each meditation and really load this stone with the energy in each meditation. So like for 40 days, you know, the energy for 40 days just went into this stone. And this stone actually went in a little, very little pond in front of the Hall of Mirrors with all the others. They were just all meeting each other in some water. And after the event, Matias took them all out. And I think by now it's already in, and there will be some resin on it. So it will be sealed there forever. So the whole stone pile is just in this little place, and just in front of the Hall of Mirrors. And my stone was of the Lake Constance, which is the third biggest lake in Central Europe. And I'm living there, and I just had to get one little stone out of the lake, and this is now forever, like forever, as long as the earth is not going apart in front of this dome and this little place. So this is nice to know, isn't it? And yes, getting there, like from wherever we were to Capilla was probably the same experience as some of us had in Egypt. You know, we are in the airplane and we are looking at each other and we are like, "Yo soy," yeah, of course. We are in the airport and you know, just seeing someone like, "Hey," like you know each other forever and you haven't seen each other. And wherever we went, it was like a deep recognizing, and this is one of the most amazing things I actually experienced in my life in Egypt and here. Like you just know each other, isn't it amazing? And I actually have some pictures, because I have pictures, family, I have so many. So this is actually a picture on an airport. There's a little story about it, because I was in the airport in Zurich about to start together with Juling, actually. So I was just looking for an adapter for Argentina, because I didn't get one right in time. So I hoped I will find one at the airport before I go to Argentina to be able to load my phone and stuff like that. So I was in the airport, I didn't know where to go. And then there was this young policeman, very good looking actually. And I just asked him, and he was like, "Oh, I just go with you and I'll show you the shop." And then he went through the whole airport with me, which was kind of big, and telling me while we are going that he once was completely lost at the airport in Frankfurt Main. And he told me about that. And he brought me to that shop and I got my adapter. Oh my God, thank you. Otherwise you wouldn't have get any video at that time. So, and then I was telling that Juling, like this story about, this policeman who was lost, who brought me there because I was lost, and then telling me a story about how he was lost in another airport. I'm telling her this, like in the middle of it, and we are right in front of a shop with this jacket. "Follow me, I'm lost too," which is actually quite a nice symbol, because it is always like this, isn't it? sometimes you are the one who is guiding others, and sometimes you are the one who needs a hand, who needs guidance. So we are always, it's not about somebody being a guide and somebody is just being a follower. We are all guides, we are all masters, and sometimes we are followers because this is our path and we have to learn certain things. So it was just reminding me that of this, and I really had to take a picture of that. And actually it's really funny because at the airport in Cordoba, I had, one of all those miracles when I was at this place where the people are putting the stamp in your passport and whatever, and taking your picture and stuff like that. And this woman, she was just free, and I went to her, and she was like, are you going to Matias de Stefano? And I'm like, what? in the airport in Cordoba. And I couldn't believe it. And she was really, she kind of looked very familiar to me. And I was kind of, oh, maybe this is a sister too, and I invited her to the event. But she said she has to work at it these days. But I was like, how do you know? And she was like, at one time you get aware of it because there are thousands of you who just want to go to Capilla del Monte. Yeah. So it was really nice for me, because this is a really nice miracle, because on our last day, I postponed my flight, and on our last day, when we went back, I happened to be in that place with this actual woman again, and I didn't even recognize. So she invited me to the country, and it was the same one who said goodbye to me, and that actually, she said, will you come back? Please come back. And I was like, yes, I will. And I couldn't believe it. It was just the same face. It was her, of all those people. Isn't it amazing? This is kind of I don't know. For me, it's a miracle. I don't know what it's for you. So getting there, being in Cordoba, arriving there, actually, we went into a taxi, and we didn't have the right money. So I just shared a little bit in the airport, because there was no exchange, because it was Sunday when we arrived. So I gave the taxi driver all my money. And then I just realized, oh my God, I'm here and it's Sunday and I don't have Argentina pesos for buying me anything. So, and I couldn't go to a bank because they all closed. And what did the taxi driver do? She gave me back 3,000 Argentinian pesos, which is like $15, 15 euro. She just gave it back to me, telling me, give it to the agency I'm working with later on when you were able to go to the bank. Has any taxi driver done this to you? So I could buy some food for me and to give it back to her like days later, and I don't know, the people in Argentina are so nice. And this is maybe what I can say, like as a summary already, in like maybe even in comparison, like, because I get this question often, like, how was Argentina actually in comparison to Egypt for you? And I mean, to compare this is not really, it's not really possible, but like Argentina for me was much more, it was feeling more free in so many ways. It was just feeling free. It felt more relaxed. It felt more liberated. Just because in Egypt, we were at a dance festival, at a music festival. We had a concert, and we weren't really, we couldn't be open about spiritual things. We weren't supposed to meditate anywhere. We weren't supposed to have white clothes on because it's just strictly forbidden. And it was a miracle to be in Egypt and do the task. but, you know, in Egypt, we were carried by buses from our hotel to the event and back. So we didn't have any, like, almost no possibility of encounters with local people, for instance, or even with each other, because, you know, we were just sitting in one of 33 buses and were carried to our hotel late in the night, and we had to stay at the same place in Giza all day long. So, you know, it kind of, I mean, we were absolutely satisfied with that because we know what to expect. But still, it was in Argentina, you just could go out of the park, you could meet people, you could go out for lunch, you know, just in the town. You could go out for dinner, you could meet people from there, you could meet each other more easily. And the whole thing, even like Matias, for me, seemed more relaxed, of course, you know, because his task is now, you know, really ending. But everybody seemed like just more relaxed, more free, more open somehow. And this is just, you know, this is just my personal experience, even though our task was actually to really work with the earth, because now we had to get all the information we loaded up from Egypt, from the earth of Egypt, from the pyramid, from, you know, the all the information which was laid out there in this place, all this ancient information, to upload them into the Ether. This is why the Ether group was so important in Egypt too, into the Ether, to now gather those information, bring them together with the information in the earth of Argentina, and in the Hall of Mirrors, to illuminate this information and let it shine through the mirrors in the Hall of Mirrors, so the information can spread through time and space. This is what he actually explained in his speech on the 7th of November, when we all gathered. Yes, so this first day and the 7th was really like we all came there to the Pueblo Encanto, which is actually, I will show you some pictures of this too. So we went all there and we were all greeted by nice ceremonies, and then we met first with our group. So we gathered, there were signs, and the groups were gathering. So I was the group E, like the I, and meaning balance and the heart chakra, and we all met. And actually before, when we were put into those groups, after 2 days, they said, like, it's not gonna be 33 people as normally they should have been, because there were not enough people going to Argentina. So they were cutted, the group amount was cutted into 25. So 24 plus coordinator. So now we were not 33, we were only 25. And those who had notes that were notes of the icosahedra, meaning the form with the 12 notes, each of them had to take 3 notes of the earth and really incorporate them. So, you know, everybody of us had one note, represented one note. I represented the spiritual aspect of the note Bird Island in the Seychelles. So they had 3 of them to make sure every note was represented in the Hall of Mirrors and the dome. So it was kind of a task for them. Whoever had an icosahedra note, suddenly they had 3 and not 1 note to really meditate with and to really get to know them and to really work with them. So that was another difference to Egypt, because somehow, I don't know why, it's still, for me, it's still, I don't know why. It's still a riddle why not enough people went to Argentina. I thought actually it's going to be more easy because, you know, North America is quite close, and so many people from South America are there. So I don't know why, but in spite of that, I just realized there have been a lot of people that were in Egypt that now were in Argentina too. That was kind of amazing. So I just maybe will show you now some pictures of Pueblo Encanto, because this is really a nice place. Of course, the dome, you all know it. And that was the entrance, you know, in front. You can see, if you look through this tent, you can see the great gate. We all came through that and wandered through this main street and through this tent. And yeah, that was the view to the guitar, you know, in front of the guitar. Everything took place. You see the stage on there. And this picture is from the castle. And on the left side, you see, I think it's Oritoco. I'm not quite sure, but one of those mountains. So it is a huge place, a really huge place. Just another one. In front of the dome, there was this little Buddha. I don't know if you have seen that on the other videos. It's just like right in front of it. When you go there, you cross that Buddha, and it's a nice reminder to be quiet and to be aware where you're putting your foot on, and to get just conscious where you're walking. So yeah, the thing about the 7th was that after this group gathering, which was actually interesting, we just got to know each other. You know, we have seen each other on Zoom, but we haven't seen each other. Most of us haven't seen each other somewhere else. So it was about getting to know each other. And I really like to show you the itinerary. Yes. All right. Just for you to get an idea of our days there, because it was really about work. The whole day, like in Egypt, was kind of full. Like starting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the 7th, like for the fire group, right? Fire and water. And then Tuesday going on, you see like all those things going on. So usually like after the morning ceremony, we had lunch, and after the lunch, there were some things that the group Earth was doing. And at the same time, we had activities like, you know, some people of us were doing. And then after that, we met again at the Great Guitar, and Matias had his speech. And then Matias went into the dome with one of those groups. So this was kind of the itinerary for every day. And on the 11th, it was kind of the same, more or less every day. But there, of course, like every time, there were some little changes during the day. But this was just for you to imagine, like you can see here, you know, like at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, the groups were going into the Hall of Mirrors. And then at the 11th, actually, the Pueblo Encanto opened its doors at 7 already. The other days it was only at 9, because they didn't know how many people of air they would expect. So just in case they arrived early, they opened the gate even at 7. So just for you to have an idea. Do you see me now again? Okay. So that were our days. So we didn't have a lot of free time in between, but still, as most of you will probably know by now, I kind of got into the task of recording the activations of Matias, because at the first day, I just did it out of like some call in me, just even not knowing really why I actually took that, because I thought, they are broadcasting it anyway, the foundation. And afterwards, I found out that the broadcast was very bad and very poor. And I mean, the internet over there was really unstable. This was why I recorded it and didn't broadcast it, because most of us didn't even have internet during the day. So I could only record it. And then when the others did have their lunch or their dinner, or just went out or did have their activities, I just went to my hotel and uploaded the whole stuff. So that was my 4 days. I didn't even get a chance to have dinner with anybody. I just went straight home, because it took me hours to upload the whole thing, sometimes just during the night. So to have it as soon as possible. So that was actually something I didn't even plan. That was kind of interesting. So, and I really felt it's my call. I don't know why. I kind of had the idea I am the one who is archiving the whole event. It was amazing. And so back to the fire group and water group, when we just got to know each other, then we were invited to the Roman bath. And the Roman bath is like, it's like a pool. And before that pool, there stands a little castle. It's not the red one you saw on the pictures. It's another one which really looks like a castle, more or less. Matias called it a ghost castle. I don't know why. Maybe because it's empty now. And it was also quite funny, because when our group arrived there it was just full. Everybody was just sitting around the pool. And my coordinator just called everybody like, "We go into the pool!" And I was like, "What? Is that the baptizing they were talking about?" But of course, the pool was empty and nobody was in there. Everybody was just going around it. So we just stepped into the middle, and I took my first videos from right in the middle of the pool. So whoever has watched those videos of the 7th on my YouTube channel is actually with me in the middle of this very ancient Roman pool. So yes, Matias explained why we are here. I will skip that for now and dive into the baptizing. You probably saw the video maybe of that. And the baptizing really was about the water group, with all the information of their journey through South America. They were to go into a little river, like put their feet into this water. It was a little river. It's called Calabalumba, I think, which was just flowing a little way away from the Roman bath. And we all went there, like, I don't know, for me, it seemed like thousands of people on each side of this little river. And the water group and our coordinators went into the river, and we all, the fire group, got baptized, like really blessed by them. And so the information, could spread from them to us. So we were able to ignite them in the dome. And it was really a very emotional event. I don't know if you haven't watched the video I've done from it on my channel. I'm inviting you to watch it, because it's really something. For all of us, it was really moving. And when we went out of it, I could really feel the difference to Egypt, because, we just went out of the event and we didn't have to separate. We could just stay together and have dinner or, talk, or just go to each other's accommodations, and you just meet, and talk and have a nice evening together. So that was kind of different to Egypt, where, it was always very late when we came back to the hotel in our bus, and then we just, most of the times I skipped the dinner like always, because we were so tired, we just went into the bed. So this was now really different. Right. I will have another try of a little video. Let's see. So that was just like the end of the baptizing, and the baptizing was about singing and humming and really being blessed by the water group, and that was just like the relief, and just spread everything and just celebrate and join. So that was nice. Did you get the spirit of that?
And here I have to sneak in, because I couldn't let this sharing go without briefly mentioning this sweet little thing. Because on entering the location on the 8th of November, they handed out to each member of the fire group this little bag. And I opened it at the location, and it's a very nice envelope, and in this envelope, there you have some different seeds. And on one side, there is something written by the foundation, and on the other side, there's something written from Matias, and I just gonna read it. First, the one from the foundation. This envelope contains the seed of the new humanity. These seeds, besides of being a symbol, are latent life waiting for your love to see the light. As guardians of these seeds, which are a symbol of expansion and growth towards autocracy, plant them, water them, take care of them, and follow their transition from the darkness of the earth to the light. This way, they will be born, grow, and multiply. Thank you for sowing the new humanity. Fundacion Arsayian. And the text of Matias says, the vibration is the origin. The verb is the creator. The word is the seed of all creation. And each seed is a being with the potential to create a tree of life, and thus a forest of consciousness. For this reason, the Arsayians, those who speak to the world, are sowers of consciousness. May these seeds be the manifestation of our intentions online. Thank you for being part, for helping us sow a new humanity. Matias de Stefano. Isn't it just nice? And with this, let's continue with the actual recording.